Okay, this is to clarify. This is the third edition of me doing this. I really, oh god. But hello there. My name is Life, nickname Gits, and today I'm here in a video. Today I'm here talking about the designer notes for the Year 6 Season 4 mid-season patch, and I'll be referencing the pre-patch notes or the designer notes, I guess I can say, for 1 Year 6 Season 4 or High Caliber was released. So let's do it. So I hate the fact of, but this chart is the most interesting to me. Iona, Twitch, Sledge, Ash, you have mainly fragger operators right here that are like very picked a lot. That's no bringer. That's just kind of how it is. The two things that it surprises me is one Blitz, and just for reference, this is the last patch notes. The Blitz was in the underpick 2 week category with Monty, and it just didn't really seem like they were out here like that. But then now he's in the underpick but too strong category. And he has probably the highest one of the highest win deltas I've ever seen. Like the only time I'll ever see like a win delta be as high is like the glass being meta or even when Lion was first released. That's probably the only time that I can ever think that win delta can be this high. But it's actually genuinely incredible. The fact that we're having Blitz out of any character be up here like that. And the thing about it, like Monte's still in the underpick 2 week, and that's the thing about it. And another thing I want to talk about, comparing patch notes, Fuse, and this is the this is a oh this is last season whatever, but like you see like Glass is in the underpick 2 week category, okay, but his win delta like it's not that it's not that strong, it's not that weak. Now Glass is picked barely any time. Like literally Glass has I don't think Glass has ever been picked in Plat and Diamond. I think honestly maybe he's been picked once or twice, if anything, and that in itself is insane. The fact that you can have one character not be picked at all, just at any given time, is actually insane. Like you have someone like Grillock, who, okay, you know what, she's, she has a very similar pick rate to Glass, but Gridlock does something for the team. Gridlock's like Glass. If you want Glass to do something for the team, you have to bring the grenades and the Gone 6. But then if you bring the Gone 6, you don't have a secondary pistol you can rely on for more close range engagements or when your DMR runs out of ammo. And honestly, I want to make a video talking about Glass and some rework ideas I have come up with, the community has come up with, all that. But besides that, there's nothing really much surprising to me, if I'm being frank with you. Um, I'm kind of actually, well, no, I am kind of surprised that Flores is kind of now being less picked. Um, he's still in the underpicked 2 week category. I remember correctly, he was actually in the overpicked 2 strong category around where my mouse cursor is, like where Abana and Sophia does. But yeah, Sophia hasn't really changed. Habana surprisingly actually kind of Habana and Ace kind of has changed. Maverick has changed. Nomad seemingly has changed herself. It feels like shit. It feels like that the meta is changing, and that's a good thing. And people will be like, of course, the meta is changing. Do we want to talk about high caliber? BG is like BG gets. Do we want to talk about got them high caliber? Huh? Huh? We want to talk about that. I don't know if there's any actual um. Oh, right here, yeah, Finca, Equimology. Yep. Okay. So there actually are things. So the only like two changes that can be like okay is the Finca change, which she's able to revive herself. Like Doc, recoil boost was removed and all that. It's that and in the bulletproof cam that I honestly see that like those are the only two changes that I would really see like really affecting it. And it's crazy to see Blitz just being on the rise. Like I don't like a season ago, Blitz was barely being picked. He was not really that strong. It seemed like Blitz was pretty much a weak character overall. And then now you see Blitz on like the high route. Like he's not picked that much, but when he is picked, he murders and he does so much for the team. And to some extent, it's a good thing because you have a character like Blitz that doesn't really have a place in the meta, I per se. Like, what is Blitz's role? Is Blitz like a flex where he could go between being a support and being an entry frag? Like, mind you, being an entry frag does not mean you just get kills. It also means you take ground for your team. So it's like Blitz is in this weird position where it's like he's a support because he has a shield like Monty, but because of how his shield works, you being able to blind them and just being able to basically run at them fully protected, almost fully protected, I should say. The legs are not protected, but like what is easy? Flex, entry, like it's kind of weird. And it's just fairly interesting in my opinion. Besides that, it just feels like from last season it feels like people like Ace and Abana's kind of not done too much. It feels like they've kind of went down. In fact, after Ashley and Maverick has kind of gone up. I don't know necessarily why. It is fairly interesting though, to say the least. But let's go to the defenders, and honestly, not much surprise for me personally. Clash is almost not being picked at all. It feels like and when she is, it feels like her presence is basically just not there. There's a bunch of people that don't like Clash, and that's fair. Um, and I think the one thing about Clash is like you have to play her with a team, right? You desperately have to play her with team and definitely utility round. Like if you just have one player on Clash and that's it, like that's not gonna be enough. Like sometimes you have to have like an Aruni Gate, Legion Mines, maybe like a shield with a player behind it, get some ADS. It's like you have to have some form of utility with Clash in order for her to be useful with another player, right? That's just kind of how it is. And it feels like Clash in a way can be um, an operator that might not be that great to be picking in general because you're losing any someone that can have an SMG or an AR or anything like that. One, two, you're losing any gadget that those operators can have. What like why pick a Clash if you just pick a Thorn with a shield, right? And three, if you want Clash to be effective, you have to play against players that don't really know how to play against Clash. A and B, you have to have decent amount of utility and players on that Clash in order for it to be effective. Um, that's just kind of how it is, just to say at least. Um, the one thing that has kind of surprised me is Castle. I kind of expected Castle to kind of be not in like the -4% of the win delta and be picked under 10%. I kind of expected them to be picked at least um, on the exact 10%. Maybe he has like a -1. He's still in the under week or my apologies. The under pick 2 week category, but it's not like that, I guess. Um, Besides that, there's not much I can realistically say about the patch notes. I mean, everything seems normal. Mew, I think, is actually getting a little more of a rise in terms of his pick rate. Yeah, Mew was kind of like in the overpick 2 week category. Now he's kind of hovering between the overpick 2 strong category. Cade, I think, has gone down. No, Cade actually kind of gone up. Okay, but bands, those are the bands. Thatcher, Jackal, not surprising. Nothing's really surprising here. Same thing with this. I kind of like that there's more, in a way, um, I guess I like that there's more like options and or not options, but there's more defenders being banned overall. Like you look over here and you will be like, oh well, there's like 9 different attackers being banned, and you just have no ban. No man's on 18%, on defense is 16%. But like you have Clash, Cade, Valkyrie, Mira, like it feels like there's more options on the fence to ban compared to say attack, where it's like, oh Thatcher, bye. What do we ban now? Do we ban just Jackal? Well, we don't like Jackal, we don't like tracking, so why not? Oh, we don't like Nomad, like maps, why not? Oso's also really good. Monty's really good. Um, you know, Maverick, all these operas are really good, but they're not so good to the point to where they're worth a band. It's mainly just Thatcher, who say defense. You have Mira that's worth a band. Cade, Valkyrie, they're both worth bands. Captain, Lucy, Thorn. I'm just kind of surprised that Thorn is being banned. They're all worth bands to some extent. Jaeger, I'm kind of surprised that he's being banned a little bit. Kavera, I'm still kind of surprised that she's being banned, but that's just kind of how it is. But so They have a note here about for the 2022 Six Invitational. Basically, they don't want they're explaining why the passionals are shorter than usual. They don't want to mess with how the meta is right now. That's just kind of how it is, which is fair. But the one thing they are doing, and a few things they are doing, is a they're buffing the Ruins MK14 by giving the muzzle brake to the MK14. Um, I think this is a good change. You can read here if you want, but I think it is a really good change to have the muzzle brake to the MK14. They do explain why they didn't want to have the MK14 with the muzzle brake at release, and they actually say right here, um, I can't find it. It's really right in front of me, probably in frame of you, but uh, they just feel like the MK14 is just being outpaced. You can see right here. After watching her performance on live and comparing the MK14 to the P10 Roni, which outpaces it, we made the decision to give her more options and add the muzzle brake to her kit. Makes sense. I don't think there's really much to say right there. Ella, on the other hand, her FL12 is getting a nerf, and a lot of people are probably going to be happy about this because not a lot of people like the FL12. I am those people, or I'm part of those people. The damage is reduced from 35 to 25, and the extended barrel attachment damage modifier is going to be more consistent with other weapons, and we're going to read it right here. It's a little surprised that 3-speed operators with shotguns can be forced to be reckoned with in their right hands, but we have found that this is even more true on console with players using controller. Between its power, LS speed, and a forgiving spread, the FL12 can be a frustrating weapon to come up against on console, so we've tweaked its damage values on all platforms. We expect it to still be powerful in up-close scenarios as attended, but will be less oppressive and dominant in console settings. In addition to this, we also reduced the damage modifier of the FL12 extended barrel attachment to make it consistent with all the other weapons in the game. While there is slight nerf to where Ella currently is, it should be bearably noticeable. Why make this change then? Similar to change to damage drop off in silencers in Year 6 Season 3, we want attachments to behave consistently between guns, so this change will bring the FL12 extended barrel in line with other weapons. That's fair. Um, so they do like we just read it. They do talk a little bit more about console, which is a good thing. I mean, I think honestly, console is getting a little love here. I mean, everyone is getting love who doesn't like the FL12, but I guess Varsity Gaming is very mad. That's all I can really say. Um, Alan Sophia removed movement speed reduction when affected by concussion effect of Grisma in the KS79. We talked about before how some gameplay mechanics create more frustrating than they need to. It factors into their decision to reduce the effects of screen shakes and plays a similar role here, slowing players' movement when they've been hit with a Ella Grisma mine or Sophia grenade launcher often feels like a rolling snowball as the players receive multiple inconveniences all at once. This can feel like you're left as a sitting duck. To limit this frustration and give affected players a fighting chance to react, we made the decision to remove the speed reduction associated with with their concussion effect. Of course, they will still retain all their other effects, which we feel will continue to be valuable in trapping scenarios, especially their ability to interrupt actions. While we know that this will sting for Ella and Sophia memes, we don't expect it to be significantly of a change as it might feel at first glance, especially given both of them have a slightly above average win delta. So, of course, they mentioned the win delta here. So, if, Ella is hovering between overpick too strong and overpick, or yeah, underpick too strong, which I think is a good thing for Ella. I think Ella has a good place right now, sitting with Sophia, overpick too strong. Um, Not surprising. Sophia overall is really good. The LMG just smacks. Um, in terms of Sophia, I don't. I understand why would they do this. Ella, I think this is an okay change. I think just overall this is an okay change. I think right now Sophia never needs a nerf. Ella just got a nerf with the FO12. Um, but in the terms of the growth mine, or my apologies, the concussion effect, slowing down players. I don't know how to really feel about that personally. It's weird for me. Um, I don't know why. I feel like it just makes sense for the concussion mine to slow down people. In Ella's case, Sophia case, I can kind of understand why we're moving it, but even that, I don't feel like Sophia needs a nerf at all. I understand this is not going to be really a really big thing, so I'm kind of glad Sophia's not getting another nerf that is going to be really big to her. Same with Ella, so it's kind of a 50-50 for me, honestly. I don't like it, but I don't also hate it. And that's the end. I'm sorry that took so long. I was just kind of rambling at one point, but thank you guys so much for watching this video. And either way, I'll see you guys later.